Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our Spring 2026 Town Hall. My name is Tiffany Fearon, and I'm the Policy and Impact Director at Family Councils Ontario. Today, our staff will share with you some information on programming outcomes, future initiatives, including our Champions pilot project, and details on our upcoming 2026 tour in celebration of Family Councils Week. Before we start, I would like to take a moment to recognize the land on which we are gathered on today. I am currently in Mississauga in the Erin Mills area. We acknowledge the lands which constitute the present-day city of Mississauga as being part of the treaty and traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit, First Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron, Wendat, and Wyandot nations. We recognize these peoples and their ancestors as peoples who have inhabited these lands since time immemorial. Mississauga is home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. Land acknowledgements recognize Indigenous peoples' ongoing connection to the land. They raise awareness of the impacts of colonization and encourage reflection, respect, and responsibility towards reconciliation. To create your own, you can learn whose land you're on using Native Land Digital. A link to nativeland.ca will also be added to the chat. Now, on to a few logistics for today's session. This session will be recorded. Only the presentation slides, updates, and educational portions will be shared online. The Q&A portion will not be posted publicly to protect attendee confidentiality. All attendees will remain muted throughout the session. We encourage you to participate using the Teams chat. Please feel free to ask questions, share comments, or simply say hello to the team. If you have any home or family council specific concerns, please do contact us at info@fco.ngo, and an FCO staff member will happily connect with you to support you. It's my pleasure to now pass the mic on to our amazing CEO, Sam Peck, who will lead today's town hall. Sam, over to you.
Thanks so much, Tiffany. I'm really happy to be here with all of you this afternoon. I'm joining from Hamilton. And if you didn't know, Hamilton is the traditional territories of the Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississaugas. And what I'm thinking about right now is we're hopefully approaching spring very soon. And so I'm thinking about my native plant garden and what I can put in the earth around my house that is native to this area and supports a healthy ecosystem and is reflective of the species that have co-evolved alongside with the peoples of this region. So I'm really excited for that. And something that I'm doing towards reconciliation is I'm planning a visit to a public museum that is in the site of the former Mohawk Institute Residential School in Brantford. It was the longest running residential school, had a horrible history of violence, malnutrition towards the people who were sent there. So I am planning that as reconciliation, but also to consider how to bring life to my small little bit of earth around my house. Now, we have a poll and we just want to know who you are. So what's your affiliation? Are you a family council member, a staff person, and where are you joining from? So my colleague, Yoan Williams, who's our senior manager of communications, has, I believe, launched the poll. So please go ahead and let us know a little bit about you. If you're having trouble with that, feel free to just drop something in the chat. And I will let Yoan let me know when we are ready to share the results and to go on with the rest of the session. So once again, just a couple quick questions, a little bit about who are you and where you're joining from. This also just helps us with our analysis of our events after the fact, so we know who we're reaching and who we should be reaching out to get them engaged with our work. Okay, so Yoan, should I go on to the next slides?
Yes, we can do that. I just closed the poll now.
Wonderful. Okay, so I can see that now. I'm just going to look at that. So what is your affiliation? We've got people from family councils. We've got a staff person, Fairview Manor, Conestoga College. Wonderful. We've got folks, from Renfrew, from Kitchener, Ottawa, Haldimand, Gatineau, Quebec. All right, well, welcome. I am going to go back to my slides. So thank you everyone for joining us. So here's our town hall agenda. We have some ground rules to situate ourselves in our shared space today. I'll do a general update about the work we've been doing. My colleague Kathleen Edwards will provide an update on our Champions program, which we are super excited about, along with a quick bit of education about SMART goals, which will really help your council figure out how you want to work together most effectively. We have an open Q&A, and you can ask us questions about family councils and so on. We do ask, though, that if it's something that is specific to your home, we may direct you to contact us by email so we can provide more specific advice and recommendations related to your question or concern. And then we'll wrap things up by 1 p.m. So here's our ground rules that we use for all of our sessions. Please respect confidentiality. As Tiffany mentioned, the presentation posting, that is the video that will be posted online, will include the education update sections. We don't share the open Q&A via video, but if there are questions that we think are worth sharing broadly, we will create a written document. So we do ask that you maintain confidentiality of what is said here stays here, particularly around people's stories. Please share questions and feedback candidly. And you do that in the chat, please. Step up, step back means if you have something you want to say, but you've been a bit quiet, please feel free to step up. We want to hear from you. And if you're someone who has been asking many questions, perhaps step back to create space for others. Listen actively and speak mindfully, so that way we can maintain a good space for ourselves. And keep your microphones muted when not speaking. So again, we'll have an open Q&A at the end where we'll take questions and we can discuss some issues. So we will be inviting folks to participate at that point. But in the meantime, feel free to drop something in the chat and we will either respond to it or get to it at the Q&A. So this is just a bit of an overview of what FCO has done over the last fiscal year. So these statistics are for April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026, which is what we call our fiscal year. So this is a bit of at a glance. We did 75 consultations with family councils on issues ranging from how to start a family council, how to recruit more members, what makes good meeting minutes, to issues around the long-term care sector, the Fixing Long-Term Care Act or FLTCA, or new announcements or initiatives from the Ministry of Long-Term Care. We did 96 consultations with long-term care home staff on many of the same issues, but also how to effectively build and sustain relationships with family caregivers and family council members. So we support both the caregivers and family council members and the long-term care home staff who work with them. Because we believe that in order for family councils to be effective, in order for caregivers to have a voice in improving the long-term care system and their person's home, that it really is a relationship between the families and the home staff. And we want to ensure that long-term care home staff understand, for example, communication approaches that work best with councils, how to execute the duties and responsibilities under the Fixing Long-Term Care Act, and what the boundaries are of their engagement with the Family Council to ensure that, above all, they can work effectively together. We've had more than 20 ministry interactions beyond the ministry as our funder, because we are funded by the Ontario Ministry of Long-Term Care, but we're also a key public partner for the ministry as we bring forward concerns, recommendations, and ideas from family councils and from the home staff who work with them. So Tiffany Fearon, who opened our session today, is our Director of Policy and Impact. So if you have any thoughts or questions about public policy, legislation, government initiatives, please feel free to connect with her or myself, as we're the two who engage most directly with the ministry. 43 presentations to family councils. So we do nearly 4 a month, or less so in the summer months, but we do many presentations each and every month to family councils to help them understand their roles and best practices. 18 presentations to long-term care homes. And that includes the leadership training program that we launched last year, led by our programs director, Natasha Dupuis, who helps long-term care home staff to develop the skills and knowledge they need to work most effectively with their home caregivers and family councils. We've done 77 sector partner interactions, and those are with organizations such as who we call our cousins at the Ontario Association of Residents Councils, with the Ontario Centres for Learning, Research and Innovation in Long-Term Care, the provider associations, Advantage Ontario and the Ontario Long-Term Care Association, Ontario Caregiver Organization, and more. So through those interactions, we provide input to them to help to improve what they offer to the long-term care sector and ensure that the family caregiver voice and needs and perspectives are recognized and included in that work. And particularly with OARC, we discuss issues that affect residents and families. So really, we look at connecting with the other players within the sector to ensure that we can give feedback on what's happening, to share emerging issues and trends that may be affecting the family and resident experience, and to really work collaboratively, effectively, and efficiently to help improve the long-term care system, which is what all of these organizations together are striving to do. So it's a bit of at a glance, and you'll be able to read more about what we did in the last fiscal year in our annual report, which will come out in probably fall of this year. And that is going to be led by our fantastic comms manager, Yoan Williams. So please stay tuned for that. We are super excited that this year, to recognize Family Council Week, we will be hitting the road. So we have planned 3 in-person and 1 online session for this year. So we may be coming to a city near you. So we're going to be getting out throughout the province to bring together council members, sector partners, and long-term care professionals for connection and learning. So May 19th is Kingston. June 4th will be in Oakville, June 10th, Sudbury, and June 11th we'll have an online webinar so that if you weren't able to connect with us in person, you'll still be able to connect with us virtually. Each of these events, each of the in-person events, will feature a local guest speaker who will speak to something of relevance to long-term care. Kingston is going to have person-centered language. We've got others sessions at Oakville and Sudbury. And the FCO session that we'll be leading is going to help you to create equitable and inclusive family councils. So registration is live for our in-person events. So please check out the registration online at fco.ngo/connecting-through-care-2026. If for whatever reason you're having trouble accessing the registration or have questions about the events, please do contact us at info@fco.ngo. We hope to see you there. And now it is my pleasure to welcome our Education and Research Manager, Kathleen Edwards, to the screen, so to speak, as Kathleen is going to be providing an overview of our super exciting Champions project. Kathleen is leading this work and has worked tirelessly not only to develop the training materials for our champions, but also our evaluation of this work, and has really led this project. And I am super excited to turn it over to Kathleen to share more about what we're doing. So Kathleen, I'll manage the slides and you just let me know when to move on.
Thank you, Sam. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. So the Family Council Champions Project is a pilot project we are launching, in part because while we have grown in size as a team, we recognize that being able to provide the support needed across the province is challenging for us. Going into communities, it takes time to understand the language of that community, the maybe unwritten rules that exist in that community, understanding the relationships that exist in your community. And one of the solutions that our team has developed, and we want to test out and see how it works, is recruiting someone to serve as that go-between, someone who would have knowledge of all of the resources and supports that FCO can provide, and be able to provide that support in person, in language, in the way that might be needed for councils in that specific community. And so that's led to the Family Council Champions Project. So a champion will be someone who would be eligible to be a member of a family council. So a family member or a person of importance to a resident currently living in long-term care, who would be excited and recognize the benefit and value of an active family council in a long-term care community, and would be the person who would champion the ongoing presence of that family council in the community. So they'd be someone who would be willing not just to build relationships with other potential members of the council or in supporting the work of a council if you already have an active council. They'd also be someone who'd be willing to step in and provide support to staff. Again, just to help them understand the powers of a council, or to be that person that staff can talk to get an idea about how they can approach a specific issue or discuss something with the council. So an example might be if your home is going to be moving and they want to know what is the best way to, support family councils through this and families through this experience, then the champion may be a good point of contact to really give some pointers and meet one-on-one with the home staff who have questions, but also provide that connection between the staff and the family council in that home. So that way the move is something that's successful and that there is, you're able to maintain that ongoing collaboration, transparency, and trust between the family council and staff in that long-term care community. So we are hoping to recruit up to 40 champions. So these would be people, again, who would be eligible to be members of the council. If you don't have an active council, they'd be someone who is willing to support the process of starting up a council. We will provide them with training, and they will then take that knowledge and take that training to do whatever is needed to try and support a family council when needed and as needed, but also to try and get one going if there isn't an active council. We'll provide that training in person, and you will have ongoing support from the staff at Family Councils Ontario. So again, the Champions Project is really just intended to try and help us achieve the ability to have that ongoing presence of councils. We know that there's this kind of ebb and flow of councils. So members come, people are really excited. The chair might be amazing, outstanding, and then all of a sudden the resident passes away, they decide to step back, and then that council may just fade or stop to exist. And so we're also hoping that the presence of a champion in these long-term care communities will be able to help sustain the ongoing presence of a family council in communities that have one. And again, for communities that don't have one, yes, FCO do go in and we do provide sessions on why councils matter and try and help homes in getting a council started. However, we're hoping that by having a champion present in these homes, it is that ultimate key to success of getting the idea of a council from being discussed in that community to helping it become a reality. So we are currently looking for individuals who are interested in serving in the role of a champion to apply and to let us know that they want to be part of this project. So please visit the website. If you have any questions whatsoever about the program or the project, please feel free to connect with me through email. I'm more than happy if your council has questions to attend a council meeting and answer any questions you may have and ease any concerns you have. Again, the intent of a champion is not to take away from the work that your council's doing, but really it's someone who is an additional support to enhance the work of your council in your community. So thank you so much. And again, visit the website if you want to learn more about the project. And we do encourage those who are interested to go back to your councils, have a discussion, and encourage people to apply for the role of champion. And I believe the next slide, I'm going to talk why this matters. So again, there's just that growth. So we need your help because again, there is really not the ability for our staff to be able to be present all the time in all communities. So we're hoping that the champion will add that local capacity to support stronger communication, relationships, family engagement alongside councils and home teams. So that is the ultimate goal, that it will help lead to that enhanced communication, relationships, and engagement through family councils or just engagement with families in communities that don't have a council. Next slide. So now we're going to talk about SMART goals. So part of the work of a champion will be to have discussions about family council effectiveness. And something that we've been hearing is that some councils tend to just get lost in what they want to do and aren't too sure what they should be doing together in their time together. When it comes to recruitment, one of the reasons why people don't want to join a council is because they aren't very sure what councils do. Why are they in existence? What are they doing with their time? Discussions can get distracted, things can get off track, and that's when there's potential for conflict. So in developing the Champion Project and other Family Council Education Department resources, we're going to be using SMART goals to ensure clear, structured, and practical learning that translate into effective support for family councils. So you've probably heard about SMART goals before. It's an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, which in turn helps turn something that's very abstract into something that's very clear and actionable for councils. So again, goals are important because they will help your council define clear shared priorities that are, again, specific, achievable, relevant, measurable, and time-bound. It will help make it easier to track progress because you don't just want to set a goal, you also want to revisit how are we doing and are we actually doing anything that leads to us achieving that goal. You want to understand the impact of the work that you're doing as well as stay on course. So again, you do not want to get distracted by other things that may be happening. You really do want to focus on what you're trying to achieve together. And you want to make sure that your goals are realistic and meaningful while still supporting growth and improvement for your council and your community. Nice thing is SMART goals will help both staff and council members connect meaning to their tasks. So again, when you are doing something on behalf of a council or when you're asking the staff in your home to share information or asking for access to a specific resource to support project or initiative that you're leading, it will help the staff understand the why. Why is it you're asking for access to the kitchen? Because you want to bake cookies so you can give it to all the staff at Christmas as a little thank you to recognize the impact they make and to give them a little pick-me-up because you know that they're always very busy and especially around the holidays, it's challenging. Again, the SMART goals will help you understand progress. So You decide on a goal collectively together as a council. You set it. You talk about it during a meeting. You probably include that goal on your terms of reference. Every meeting, you should be talking about updates on that goal. How are things going? Did the people who agreed to do something accomplish what they said they would do? And then if there's need for adaptations or adjustments based on what's going on, someone is sick, someone needs to step back, deciding what you're going to do to adapt to make sure that you can actually achieve that goal. So again, it will help you adjust your resources to support the success of your council. So again, SMART goals are really important for councils to have because it will really help you understand why you are doing what you're doing. Why are you meeting as a council? What is it that is motivating all of your group together to work to achieve something? You can also communicate that why to the members of staff, to other families when you're trying to get them to join your council and to support recruitment, as well as to the community at large. What is the impact? Why is it important to have a council? And again, it will help make sure that you are checking in on things, adapting as needed, and really looking at the health of your council.
Thank you so much to everyone who has attended. So we do our town halls a few times a year to provide updates on our work and our initiatives. If there is a particular topic related to family councils that you would like to learn more about, or to book a presentation, or inquire about any of our other services, including our family council coaching, the Ontario Family Council Network, or other regional networks, or if you're having some challenges and would benefit from some conflict resolution support, please do reach out to us at info@fco.ngo. And Tiffany Chang, our intake coordinator, will be happy to support you either with providing you with the information or helping to get connected to a member of our team for support. In the meantime, I hope that you consider becoming a Family Council champion or learning more about the initiative. But right now, I am going to turn it back over to my team members to close us out.
But thank you so much, Sam. I was so delighted to see all of this dialogue in the chat, and we really appreciate all of the questions. So please keep them coming. Feel free to reach out. Just want to close off today's session by saying, again, if you have any questions, please reach out using the contact information that was provided on the screen. I'm not sure if we can put that back up for you, but please feel free to get in touch, and we'll always triage whatever questions or comments that you have to the right staff member. To stay informed about our latest programs and upcoming events, we encourage you to also follow all of our social media channels. So thank you so much for your continued interest in our work and the support, and we look forward to connecting with you again at future events.